ahead.
Okay, we'll do the external morphology of the fish. First of all, we'll start with the very anterior end with the snout. And what I want you to notice on the dorsal side of the snout, you'll see two little openings right here that will be called the external nares, here and here. These are actually openings that will bring water into the olfactory lobe for the sense of smell. You actually have a pair up front, anterior and a posterior pair back here. Water comes in the anterior and out the posterior, and as it does, it washes over the olfactory gland to pick up the sense of smell. You can then open the mouth, and here you'll be able to feel the teeth on the inside of the mouth, the bottom row and the top row of maxillary teeth that he uses to help hold prey. You can also see the tongue on the inside of the mouth. As you can see, the mouth is able to open up large enough for it to capture prey big enough for it to swallow. We move back, we'll see the eye on both sides, and then behind that, just posterior to the eye, we'll see the operculum. Now, this is the flap that covers the gills. We'll lift it up, and if we lift this forward, you can see inside this, you can actually see the gills inside there. There's the gill filaments on the inside. We'll open that up shortly and see all that in just a minute, but that's the gill filaments. Now, we move on back from the snout to the edge of the operculum is the head region. From the operculum posterior to the anal vent, which is just in front of the anal fin, this is the trunk region, and from here to the fulcrum will be the caudal region. Now, if we look at the scales, the fins on this animal, we see we have a pair of fins that are in the median part of the body, and that's the anterior and posterior dorsal fins. Now, these are spiny rayed fins because they have these hard spines on them, and the back one is a soft ray fin. It's softer and flexible. Both of these help keep the fish swimming in a vertical alignment like this, as does the anal fin down here. Those two fins, the dorsal, posterior and anterior fin, and the anal, keep the fish swimming perpendicular. The only other unpaired fin is the caudal fin. It attaches to the fish at the caudal region at the fulcrum. Now, this particular fish, both lobes are the same size, so this one would be a homocercal caudal fin. The fish also has two pair of paired fins. We have the pectoral fins here, which are part of the appendicular skeleton, the pectoral fins, and just below it we have the pelvic fins here. Now, these fins are paired, and they allow the fish to change direction from left to right, up and down, and directional movements on the fish is ascertained by the pectoral and pelvic fins. You can actually look on the edge and you'll be able to see the scales. You can actually lift one of those up if you want to and see the scales on the side of the fish. These of course are ctenoid scales, in that they have little spines on them, and you can kind of feel the roughness of the scale as you rub your finger over it. Now, that's the external structures we want to look at. One other thing, of course, is the anal vent down here at the bottom. This is where the solid and liquid waste are excreted, and then just behind that, in this particular fish, will be a urogenital opening where sperm and egg are released. Now, we're going to open this fish up so that we can get to all the internal organs, and there's a couple of ways to do this, but I'm going to do it from the top down so that I can get all the internal organs. I want to save all the internal organs without doing any damage. So what I want you to do is take your scalpel, and you'll start at the top up here and start working your way all the way back along the top and shave the meat away from the bone as you peel this back. It'll look something like this. It'll be difficult because of the scales, so you have to make your incision through the scales and along the edge. You can feel the vertebral column as you're cutting along this. You'll feel the vertebral column, so you want to cut along it and all the way back like this. Just follow along the ridge of the backbone and rib cage along the back here. And along this edge right here. Then we're going to continue to slice this away just like this. Can you see this? Just like this. You're going to slice this away, and from the rib cage. Now be careful, because the swim bladder is right in here. We don't want to get it. Now I want to get that pulled away about like this. Then I want to start on the back side and work my way up this way so I can take all this flap and flap it over. So I'm going to start right up here between my pectoral fins, right here. Make an incision here between my pectoral fins. Here, I'm going to make an incision and start working my way posterior with this incision. Again, be careful, because the intestines are right below it. I'm going to come all the way back just like this to where I cut back here. Like so. Now then, I can begin to peel all this away to get to my internal organs. You'll be cutting the muscle away right here. You're actually taking the muscle away from the bone. And you'll cut down this way just behind the pelvic or the pectoral fin like this. Peel all this off just like this. Okay, now then we want to lift this portion up. This is the rib cage right here. This is the rib cage that I'm going to lift up and kind of separate it away so that I can get to the other parts that I need to see. The rib cage is hiding some things here that we need to get to. So I have to take my scissors and cut the rib cage away. Okay, now then, when we get internally here, we'll be able to see the first thing, the most conspicuous thing here will be in this case it's the gonads, the female ovaries lying here. I still need to get back under here to get to the heart and the stomach and intestines, so I'm going to have to get all this cleared away to get to that. So pause it.